Good morning. This is Friday, November 18th. Wow. Leaves are definitely falling. Didn't get to enjoy their color change much. They just went color change and drop. Just like this one here. The world is, everyone needs to do a course study in critical thinking and just question everything. Why am I eating this? Is this really food? Where are the nutrients? And do the research. It's a headache, but it's worth it. Ignorance is not bliss. Ignorance is why most of us stay as a victim. Get victimized. It's why we get sick. Why most of us have, by the time they're my age, 56, are on so many medications, and then half the drugs they're on is for the side effects of the other half. So there's so much that we need to question and look up the definition of a conspiracy. But when it's done so blatantly, when it's like in your face, a lie or a partial truth, which is worse than a full-out lie. A partial truth is so much harder for people to wrap their minds around because this part is true, so the rest of it, we don't need to know the rest of it. This is true. People need to question. People need to think for themselves. And it hurts those that have already done that, already taken that route. Oh, I'm going to stop here. Why did they tear into this bank to make this road? Why didn't they just come across or not go down this deep? Or is it just from years of grading? Questions are a good thing. And people that don't allow you to question or say, oh, you need to have more education to understand this. There is nothing, seriously, there is nothing taught at any college, anywhere, that if that person actually knows the subject, they can teach a 5th grader or an 8-year-old. If you can't simplify something to where a child could understand the rudimentary parts of whatever, quantum physics, then you don't know the topic well enough and you're lying to everybody else. I had a finance guy at a car dealership. He was a general manager at a car dealership. When I was asking something about the way he wanted to finance the full-size van that my parents wanted to buy, and when I was questioning him, he literally looks at me and goes, you need to go to college for this, after I said that I wasn't in college. And then I was like, oh my God, you're just a thief. You're a liar and a thief, and now you're going to insult me on top of trying to steal from my parents. I was like, no, we need to leave. These are not how you talk with people. People that, what I'm noticing, and I'm not saying it's for everybody, but I've noticed the more educated a person is, the harder it is for them to question what they've been taught. Now, anyone with any knowledge of medical history knows that medical procedures have changed a lot. I had a pediatrician, this was almost 30 years ago, say, laugh about that my local hospital had 2 floors for the pediatric ward 20 years prior. So 50 years ago, this hospital had 2 floors for pediatric patients. And now it's just one corner of one floor. And he was so, he's like, we've come a long way. And then I said, imagine the stuff that we're doing now that 20 years from now we won't be doing. Now, this is back in the day where ear drains were put into little kids because they kept getting ear infections. Instead of figuring out why was the ear infections, let's figure out the way to drain it. I understand the mentality, but it didn't go to the core of the problem. But you don't, it's rare now that kids do that. You know, I've heard of anyone's child having that procedure done on them, when it was very common when my kids were little and prior. So even in these small things, it's changing. And I do not have a medical degree. I don't have any degree. I read a lot. I research a lot. I try to understand things, and I keep looking around until I find somebody who can actually explain it to where, yes, now I get it. Now that makes sense. Okay, that now I understand this other stuff that I couldn't understand until I got past this step. I love learning. So research is not a drudge to me. I love it. I love doing that. And the more I research, the madder I've gotten about what has happened to this country with this whole pandemic. I love that. Saw that in a meme where a kid called it that. And it is so appropriate for this. As a Bible scholar, also, because I research the Bible. I question things in the Bible, which is a big no-no in a lot of denominations and church buildings. I clarify that. That's another soapbox for me to get onto one day. But there is going to be a pandemic, and until it's God's time, I'm not concerned. I'm seriously not concerned. I have been following several different doctors on YouTube who gives a lot of great information. And there's one in particular, Shawn Baker, MD, Shawn, S-H-A-W-N, not S-E-A-N, the Irish spelling. Anyway, Shawn Baker, MD, and he's all about getting rid of the comorbidities to be healthy. And if you get sick with anything, your body's able to respond. They are not addressing, if this was a lab created virus, it is targeted toward minorities. The darker your skin, the less vitamin D. The less vitamin D, the greater your chance of death or more serious infection from this latest thing and anything that's going to come. Vitamin D is not just for calcium absorption. It's highly, highly important for your immune system. And I learned that when I was doing research when my dad got first diagnosed with cancer. And cancer patients are very low in vitamin D. They're, what did that cause the cancer? Did having cancer? It doesn't matter. Taking vitamin D, I think, is why I've not had the flu in decades, literally decades. I do have some other illnesses. I do have a comorbidity. I do have some things I need to take care of, things I'm dealing with. And on a good note, though, I no longer have those crazy food allergies. It's not as crazy. I still have slight reactions, but I was able to eat scones and baked goods with real flour, wheat flour, and my knee's not hurting. I'm not having the severe arthritis I had in the past. I will make a video about that. There's things in, for those of you that believe in the Bible and the God of that Bible of Abraham, Isaac, and Joseph, Jacob? Yeah. There's one thing, if you pray for, God will always give it to you. When you ask for wisdom, ask for knowledge, ask for understanding, God will give it to you abundantly, to where I've had to say, stop, I gotta understand what you've already given me before I take on anything more. Please, Lord, pace this. Because it's crazy how information has come to me when I prayed about something, and then to understand what's going on, whether it's from financial situations we had in our life, to health information, to just deciding on what should we do in this phase of our life. God's open doors and just given us so much information, and then sent people too. It's not always a book or an article or a YouTube video or, you know, something that just pops up. People have walked in and said stuff, and it's like, oh, wait a minute. I think that applies to what I've been praying about. Can you give me more information? And people love to share. Most people are not stingy with knowledge. They love to teach, and those people tend to love to be taught too. So it becomes a mutual thing. So question. And those that want to stop you questioning do not deserve your trust. Just go with it. My mother was a constant person in my life that's like, why are you just do what everyone else is doing? And it was so the wrong thing for me. If what everyone else is doing is the right thing for you, then that's what you should be doing. But if it's not, it's hard to find that narrow path that we're supposed to be on as believers. So keep me in your prayers, and if you need any prayer requests, put it in the comments. I hope to start putting out more videos. I was doing some crazy hours with the shop. I was burning myself out, and now I think I've got it to where it's a good balance. But we're going into the holiday season, so I may increase my hours again, and we'll see how that goes. But hopefully I'll do it wisely, because I want to last at this. So be a blessing and be blessed. Thanks for watching.